Video I'll be talking to you about growing your edges or edges care in general while I take down these braids to hopefully reveal a beautiful braid out look. So welcome back to all my new and returning subscribers. I really appreciate each and every one of you stopping by my channel and checking out my content. It really does mean a lot to me. So we're going to be talking about edges, how to take care of our edges, why it's important, and just some general edges care. This is not my first video on taking care of our edges. So let's just get into today's video. The first thing we want to say, the reason why it's important to have edges is because it's important for not having hair loss. So if your edges are going, if you're growing full head of hair and you have no edges, it's actually a form of hair loss, and we don't want to have hair loss on any part of our natural hair. Moreover, it's just not good to have long hair and no edges. So our edges is really the first thing. It's really close to our face that anyone would see, and so it's very important that we take care of it, because it doesn't look good to actually have really long hair and no edges. It sort of distracts everyone from your hair, and they're focusing on the fact that there's no hair at your edges. So that's some of the reasons why I like to have nice full edges. So the first way you're not going to lose your edges is by trying your best not to have styles that are have tension on your edges. These include Ghana braids. I've lost a lot of hair through Ghana braids. I've got permanent hair loss from Ghana braids. So if you can, avoid using Ghana braids, because they really do pull on your scalp. Lots of slick back ponytails as well can really damage your edges. Lots of sleeking styles can damage your edges, constantly pulling your hair up into a ponytail or back into a bun. I'm not saying that those styles are not cute, they're just not very good for our edges. Okay. Also, check your hormones. I experience cyclical edges loss. At the moment they're looking okay, but as the month goes on, I see changes in my edges. That's because I believe that it's strongly related to hormones, and I believe this to be the case because I lost all my hair during pregnancy. When I was pregnant, I had a full head of hair, lots of edges. In fact, my hair really grew much longer than it was, but I lost all of my edges. So edges is really, for me, linked to hormones. So we're going to check your hormones, try to balance your hormones. I'm actually trying to learn a lot more about balancing my hormones for that reason. I really don't want to have hair loss due to hormonal changes in my body. There is the braid out so far. I'm actually really loving this. One of the things that really helped me to grow back my edges was castor oil. Castor oil is a thickener for my hair anyway. So I don't really use castor oil so much on my scalp because I find that it gives me dandruff. However, I use castor oil on my edges because it makes my edges a lot thicker. So you can try castor oil if you are having problems at the moment. Growing your edges, thickening your edges, just getting your edges to fill back. One thing to say as well is to make sure that that area is always moisturized. We can be paying a lot of attention to other parts of our hair and styling other parts of our hair and not really checking our edges. You want to make sure that it's moisturized. Moisturize it the same way you moisturize the rest of your hair. And a word of moisture, be careful when you're washing your face that you're not getting the products, a lot of the face care. If you use a lot of products on your face, cleansers and all of that, those can actually destroy your edges. So be very careful not to destroy your edges through your facial cleansers, etc. Once again, the reason why we're doing this is because we are growing out our natural hair. You know, in Simply Shev, we're all about taking care of our natural hair, growing it out as long as it can get to. And for me, that is full waist length. I don't know how long that will take me, but full waist length is the goal. And I want to get to full waist length with my edges, of course. I don't want to get there and then realize I have no edges. I'm actually going to show you what my edges look like currently. My strategy really for dealing with my edges, I'm going to moisturize them probably after this. But my strategy really is to leave my edges alone. The moment I start to fuss over them, I start to lose them. And so that's another tip. Try your best not to disrupt this area. When you're starting styles, don't really pull on this area to get the style done. Just leave my edges alone as much as I can, and I find that that really works for me. So you can try that if you're fussing over the edges, trying to always get them to sleep back, trying to get them to look a certain way. You might not want to do that. What can I say about this braid out? I actually did it on a whim last night. It wasn't in for very long. It wasn't really moisturized, and so I actually think it doesn't look very bad just for throwing some braids in. I think it looks absolutely fine. I actually really like this. I'll give you some more shots of it later on. So back to our edges then. We've covered that we're not going to put tension on our edges. We're also going to try castor oil to help us to grow out our edges. If they are particularly thin, castor oil can help to thicken our edges and help us to have a thicker look. You don't have to have long edges, you just have to have enough hair covering this area for it not to look bad. That's what I found. You're probably not going to get your edges to be the same length of your hair. And in fact, I do have some hair breakage right here around my edges, but it doesn't look bad because it's actually filled in. I've also used virgin hair fertilizer as well. For this, I've talked to you on my channel about virgin hair fertilizer. So you can try virgin hair fertilizer as well to help you to grow out your edges. So castor oil, virgin hair fertilizer, and moisturize through water. And try not to get the cleansers on your edges because they are very harsh. They contain chemicals that are not really for hair, they are for face. Next up is, if you can, avoid using gels. As much as you can, of course. You can use it on occasion, but try not to let it be an everyday part of styling. For me, I get over that by using castor oil. If you wet castor oil and put it on your buns or whatever it is, it actually looks like you've applied gel. So castor oil is a great substitute for gel, or aloe vera gel is also very good. Flaxseed gel is really good. So you can have gels, but have alternative gels to the ones with all the alcohol that's going to dry out your edges. If you are trying your very best to grow out your edges and nothing's working, then you're gonna have to go to a doctor, a dermatologist, a trichologist to see what's going on, see if the hair loss, a doctor, if the hair loss is related to something else. Once again, it can be our hormones, but it could actually be something quite serious. So if you're trying your best to do everything to your hair and nothing's working, then of course you're gonna go and check out healthcare or a professional, hair professional. When you're going to your stylist as well, make sure that they don't pull on your edges. A lot of the time we leave our hair care up to others and we lose our hair that way because we're going to a stylist and not a natural hair specialist. Try your best, if you're going to get your hair done, to go to a natural hair specialist, someone who specializes in helping you to grow out your natural hair. I hope today's tips was useful on growing out your natural hair, growing out your edges, and I hope you enjoyed this braid out style. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. I'll see you in my next video. Take care and God bless you.